All right, so we're episode 15 now at Hardheaded Productions right here. We're starting. We got, as usual,
We got Brandon
and
Ellis
and myself, John, and this is pretty much it. Didn't really prepare much this week, just kind of, winging it now. So yeah, there's a. You just mentioned a minute ago about Comey's doing his testimony in front of the House Oversight Committee or Congress or whoever.
Yeah.
He's
some House committee.
Yeah. So yeah, they're talking to him about is there links between Russia, the Hillary Clinton email thing again. It's just all being
It's like beating a dead horse.
it's all rehashing stuff that basically. So yes, there was an investigation into Hillary. Yes, he feels sick. He said about making that statement 9 days prior to the election. But if he had to do it over again, he would still do it the same way, because as he explained it, and I think it's a very good way of explaining it. Do you release the information? Do you release bad, even though this is going to be bad for you? Do you still release it because it's one? The other hand is he would have been considered concealing information. Mm-hmm. So which is worse, releasing bad information or make it look like you were concealing information?
Well, look at it both ways. The government conceals stuff from us all the time. So,
stuff that is actually labeled and goes through a process to be considered secret, top secret,
right,
confidential, things like that. Yes.
So,
security.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have released them until it's a big deal. Well, it's a big deal, obviously, but it's like a flip of a coin toss.
There's public knowledge in that.
Yes, but
there's nothing in that is deemed secretive as far as things that are deemed secret and are labeled classified and top secret and things like that are basically because people's lives are going to be placed in danger that are in foreign lands, foreign countries. Yeah. They're embedded, they're undercover, things like that. So anything else, the government should definitely tell us what they're doing.
What do you think, Alice?
Like I said, some information is sensitive, even with a job at home. If you work for a defense contractor or a government agency, certain things you sign paperwork, certain things are disclosed that you cannot talk about. You can't tell your spouse about it. You can't tell your kids about it. So there's a reason for that. For certain protections, so I'm all for that.
Okay.
I'm all for... I want our government to be as transparent as possible. And under the last administration, they had promised to be the most transparent government. Come to find out, they weren't necessarily the most transparent government. So,
well, do you think that... Okay, well, since on the same subject, do you think Eric Snowden, do you think what he did was right?
No, because he had actually signed documents, just like Ellis had said, about protecting secrets and protecting things. Do I think what the NSA does is wrong? Yes. Do I think what Eric Snowden did was wrong? Yes.
All right. So,
was he just a whistleblower for like a private company? No, he was a whistleblower against the United States, and the information that he released has not been determined yet whether he actually put lives in danger or not.
Right.
That's where I draw the line. If you're putting lives in danger or our national security at danger, if you're releasing information about our strategic missile defense, if you're anything like that, our military capabilities to foreign governments so that they can have a way in or a better understanding of our capabilities, that is treasonous. If you are putting lives in danger, even just giving a name or an alias of somebody that's out in the field, that's treasonous, and that should be put to death, I believe, in this country for treason. If you commit, that's the way the law is.
I know
the Constitution. If you commit treason against this nation, you are basically put to death. That's the way it should be,
especially during wartime.
Yeah.
Wartime or non-wartime. I mean, we always have people in the field. We always have our defenses up. We always have our military at the ready. If you compromise that in some way, that is treason, and treason is a punishable by death offense in this country.
Okay, so another subject. That guy.
Well, let's talk about Comey again still, because what he released about Hillary, and it wasn't even really about Hillary. It was just it happened to be.
Oh, it was all timing. That's all it was.
It was a bad timing. But what he released was this. So she had the email controversy, the email server, and then she still has 30-something thousand emails out there that were deleted, and nobody ever is going to know about those.
Yeah.
What he found was her aide, her right-hand girl, Uma Abedin's husband, Anthony Weiner, who we all know has had his problems in the past.
Yeah.
he was under investigation by NYPD and the FBI. They found a laptop that was used by him and his wife, who happens to be Hillary Clinton's right-hand girl.
Yep.
So when there's emails found on that laptop, and they thought maybe these emails are some of those ones from the first 3 months of her being Secretary of State, maybe these are some of those missing 30,000 emails. So he has to go to Congress and say, listen, we might have access to this. These might be the missing emails. They might be this. So this investigation has, when you're investigating A and you start turning things up on B, well, now you're investigating B. So he basically let Congress know, like, hey, this isn't really going away. This hasn't gone away yet. And the thing with the Russians, as far as he's concerned, yes, Russians have meddled in politics for years, but did they actually have contact with Donald Trump? There's still no proof of that. There's still no proof that they actually did it. There is no voter hacking that the Russians did. They didn't. Whose vote did they change? Nothing has been proven on that account at all. What it is they may have, what they've done is basically put fake news out there in a way.
Okay.
And there's some say that they put fake news out there, and there's others say that what you said earlier about Snowden and releasing information like that. What about the WikiLeaks? Those are just releasing of information,
right.
And then Russia, what they did is actually just, WikiLeaks got that information, or Russia got that information, and WikiLeaks released it. But all that information has actually none of that's been proven false yet either. And all those WikiLeaks emails and the John Podesta emails and things like that they received and released. What of all that has been proven false?
We're still in the investigation that we don't know yet. And we'll eventually never know. It's going
we'll probably never know, yeah.
So it's like it's beating a dead horse, and we should just let it go. It's going to keep on.
Yeah, I don't know why he's testifying again.
Yeah, like how many times are you going to do it?
Yeah, nothing is going to come of it again.
So it's a dog and pony show.
It's once again a lot of smoke and maybe not any fire.
Mm-hmm.
JFK was assassinated. How many? What 63? So that's
50-something years ago.
Yeah, and we still don't know the full story on that.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was your next? You were going to mention something else? That Chino Hills thing.
Oh yeah. So was it Monday? You said Monday night.
I think it was Monday day.
Yeah, during the daytime,
Afternoon.
these three teenagers came in, tried to break into a house, and with the families at home.
5 teenagers.
Oh, 5?
Well, it wasn't teenagers. There was one that was 17.
Okay.
I think one that was 18, 2 19, and a 20-year-old, or 2 20s and a 19. Yeah.
Okay,
So there was only one that was actually underage. And there were 5 of them, and only 3 of them were caught. Well, all of them have been caught.
Yeah. But it's funny because the homeowner caught them with a gun and caught the cops and took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook, and now it's all over the world. Second Amendment, that's a good reason to have it. But honestly, who was dumb enough to rob someone during the daytime? Like, seriously. And especially Chino Hills, the most conservative city besides fucking Anaheim. That's a big no-no.
And a crime, you mean?
Oh, and a crime too, yes.
And a crime.
First of all, the guy's my hero. I'd like to buy that guy a beer.
I think you'd have to buy him sake.
Whatever you guy wants. But that's just awesome what he did, and he handled it perfectly. This is awesome what he did.
Okay, kudos for the guy for protecting his family. He was there with his wife and kids, I guess, that he has young kids in the house. Mm-hmm. They heard some noise. They heard some people coming over their wall, saw them. He told his wife to take the kid, basically hide. He grabbed his handgun. Then they tried to actually come in like an upstairs, like I guess they have a balcony or something like that. Mm-hmm. Try to come in and upstairs, trying a door lock and try to open and get in the house. He then fired a warning shot and held 3 people at gunpoint, and the other 2 fled. Now, with the neighbors' help and stuff, the other 2 people have been. All 3 were arrested on the scene.
5.
Then the other 2 people that fled were helped because of the neighbors canvassing the neighborhood and the police, the San Marino sheriffs, canvassing the area, and eventually found those other 2 guys as well. So, yes, the problem I have is I'm a sole believer in the Second Amendment. I believe our Constitution is meant to be what it says directly, in a way. Actually, not in a way. It is meant to be interpreted directly as what the words say. So the right to bear arms, I completely agree with. The right to defend yourself, everything like that, I completely agree with. We have firearms for that reason. I do not fire warning shots.
Yeah.
If I pull my trigger, my trigger awareness and my trigger discipline is that if I'm firing my gun, I am shooting to kill. I do not shoot to wound. I do not fire warning shots.
Okay.
I think that's a major mistake. And I mean, he probably won't get a citation for illegal discharge of a firearm. But that is a thing. That's actual crime.
Yep.
And so even though he was doing it in what he seemed to be a legal way, I'm sorry, I don't fire warning shots. Now, he shouldn't have fired a shot at all. You come out and hold a gun, yes. And if one of those kids starts to rush you or attack you, then you start shooting them.
Right.
And then you pivot and turn and start shooting the other one if they move. I mean, it's simple. And that is, you were in fear for your life and you're not going to go to jail. It's a justifiable homicide, basically, as that goes down. But warning shots are not. What do you fire a shot in the air? So you fire, you fire a shot in the air and then a block and a half away, that bullet comes down and comes through the roof or comes through a window or something like that, and it hits somebody.
Right.
Yeah, see, now we have a problem.
Okay.
So you don't fire warning shots.
So someone breaks into your house, automatically, boom, he's dead.
If I am in fear of your life.
Okay.
If you are in fear of your life, you have reason to shoot the
Well,
guy.
no, I'm just saying, let's say the incident happened right now, we're back on. Same thing. During the daytime, would you get your gun to shoot the guy?
If I'm in fear of my life, yes.
Okay.
Day or night doesn't matter, especially being a parent and got kids on site.
Right.
You can't shoot somebody because they are running away with your television.
Yeah.
Your life is not in danger.
Yep.
But if they are coming at you and you don't know if they have a weapon or not, you are in fear. The key phrase is in fear of your life.
Yeah.
If I was in fear of my life, if they were found to be shot in the back or in the shoulder, in the side, or something crazy like that, and I mean, that's why we wait and see about, how somebody died, where they were shot, where would this happen, where would that happen, because they can tell what a defensive wound is on somebody or what their body angle was at, and they can retrace where you were standing and where you fired the weapon from. So wait until the investigation and figure it out. But the key phrase is in fear of your life.
It's funny because I saw this one movie where.
Well, first of all, he said movie, so we obviously know that this is now false information.
Well, okay, let me mention this though. So the guy walked into the person's house, and he wouldn't live his life, shot him, but since he died on the sidewalk, not in the person's house, he got tried for murder. Because he fled.
Well, I'm sure
died right. It's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah.
You can get charged for that still.
But in real life, you would have a blood trail,
right?
And you would see that this person was probably initially shot here, possibly have a blood trail. Right. But you're also going to be, in the movie, did the guy say, I used the phrase, I was in fear of my life?
Yeah, he actually did.
Well, then, then they were making a point in the movie for some other reason.
No, but it's a movie. But
exactly,
things happen.
And in real life, it probably happens too. There's mistakes. I mean, police make mistakes. Let's not. Investigators make mistakes. But for the most part, they can tell if somebody's in your house in the middle of the night with, even if they're just there to do robbery and they have a record of robbery. You don't know their record of robbery. You don't know if they're fucked up. You don't know what they're there for. You don't know if they're there to kill and rape you, because that happens too. Yep. So how am I going to be able to make the difference? You're just here to rob me, so go ahead, take the TV.
You never know.
Oh, you don't know. Oh, yeah. Or you're just going to rob my jewelry. Oh, go ahead and take it. How do I know you're not going to kill me and rape my wife and kill my wife and kill and rape my kids or something like that? I mean, how do we know?
You never know. You don't know.
So if they're in your house, and if you are in fear of your life, it's a reasonable fear of your life.
Yeah, due to kill.
Now, you said in the movie they arrested the guy.
Yeah.
Did the movie go to full trial and everything, and trial by his peers, and he had a good attorney and a reasonable judge?
They showed some of that. Okay. Yeah, and then they said
it wasn't really realistic.
Right, but I mean,
what movie was it?
I saw it like probably 8 years ago. I forgot what it was, but they're saying things like that happen all the time.
So it's a movie about then that guy goes to prison and how he goes to prison and gets harder and okay. So
then he gets out.
Yeah, so there's some other story that they're trying to tell. It's not really that it's presumed innocent or one of those type of movies or something like that. Yeah, it's a movie. So first of all, that's bullshit. It's not real at all.
The point, things happen like all the time during the movies.
You know what else happens in movies? Guys continue to shoot for like 45 minutes without reloading.
Yeah,
that is also not true.
Yeah,
so,
and like Fast and Furious, they don't want to.
They jump cars out of airplanes and they parachute safely onto trains in these cars. So these are not real things, Brandon. You need
but
to.
You know,
there's a difference between movies and real life.
Obviously, I'm trying to make a point here. That's all I'm trying to do.
Like a cop, you have about a second.
Ooh,
at the most.
Cops. Okay.
Like you have a second to make a decision if you're in imminent danger or not.
Yeah.
Split seconds.
You don't have a second at the most, half a second maybe. You got to make a decision real quick.
Okay, so this one with that guy in, I think it was like South Carolina or something like that, where the cop shot the man in the back, the black dude who was running. Well, he's not getting charged, so that's bullshit again.
No, he did get charged.
No,
he's not getting charged federally for a crime. He's already convicted in the state. He's not getting federally charged.
One guy confessed to it, and he's still in jail.
There's
a cop in jail. The one in Louisiana.
Are there two of them? Yeah, there's
one in Louisiana.
The Louisiana one.
Yeah, Louisiana.
They're not getting charged.
They're not getting charged.
But they might get state charges still.
But that's the Louisiana one was the guy that they shot when. Remember, they had the guy on the ground,
pinned on the ground.
and then that guy actually had a gun on him, and they.
They found a gun.
Okay. It was in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But,
so that's the guy that's that one that's not getting shot.
Yeah,
the guy that's running away.
Yeah, he got charged.
He got charged.
Yeah.
So you just gave some fake news right there. See?
Ooh. Uh-oh. What are you going to do?
False information, man. I'm correcting you on it, man. I'm calling you out on the spot. I knew he got charged. I saw that story. I figured you'd bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that one was like in Carolina or something like that.
Yeah.
That guy got he got
convicted.
Got charged? He got convicted. That cop's going to jail, dude.
Good for him.
Yeah, for sure. Duh. Like, you shot a man in the back. We were just talking about this. If you shoot someone in the back or the side, forensics can tell. Let's wait for the investigation and wait for the system to work. Most of the time, I mean, what do you say as far as the system working, the full police, court, trial by jury system, what percentage of time do you think they actually get it right? Whether somebody is guilty or somebody is innocent and proven guilty, or somebody is guilty and then actually let go?
I say, good question.
Because it goes both ways.
Yeah, probably
you
65.
You have innocent
75.
that are proven guilty, and you have guilty that are getting off for some technicality or innocent or proven innocent, or not proven innocent, but deemed innocent.
I think probably 75%.
75% of the time, it's
usually
correct.
right. Yeah, 30% usually wrong.
Well, that 75% would be 25%.
Well, 25%. Yeah, I'm back out of it now.
I know you had a long day.
Yeah,
I'll forgive you for a
couple of mistakes.
Going a half hour sleep.
I'd say about 60-40, 60% of the time the system works.
Okay.
Now, is that because I threw in the guilty that are getting off stat?
Yeah.
If it was just the innocent being proven, if it was just innocent getting convicted, what's the percentage of that? Because I threw both in there, so that's probably going to throw off wrongfully accused, wrongfully conviction. What's the
I'd say
what's the conviction rate on wrongfully accused?
15%.
15%.
It's more than that.
You think so?
Yeah, I know for a fact it's more than that. It's about 25 to 30.
Yeah.
So it's still in this. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's sad.
That's why you have groups with
appeals and
Innocent Project and
Innocent Project and things like that. And I agree with that. And so yeah, the system is flawed, but it is. I mean, and I would say like I would think an 80-20. So I was right there with you at 75-25, and you said originally 60, but that's so.
Did you guys see that thing with Jimmy Kimmel and his son?
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. I was touching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad that his son was has this heart defect and things like that, and the surgery seems like corrected it and is going to be hopefully live a healthy. I mean, Shaun White has the same thing apparently. And that guy was a multiple gold medal winner and X Games winner and in two different sports.
Yeah, snowboarding,
skateboarding, or rollerblading or something.
Skateboarding
like that.
And snowboarding.
Skateboarding. And
I got to meet him one time. Cool dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So but what do you think about Jimmy Kimmel though coming out and blaming Trump?
Well, he said it had to be fixed. That's basically what he said. Healthcare has to be fixed, and he made it come. That's all he's saying. It has to be fixed.
No, but he blamed Trump. He says Trump is going to cause this to happen. Basically, is what he was alluding to.
Okay,
which is completely false. Trump doesn't dictate natural order of people's birth defects.
Right, but he's saying though, he's trying to take that the pre-conditioning healthcare under Obamacare. He would have been fine, but now they're going to take that away.
He wouldn't have been fine. He still would have had the.
Well, yeah, but then you have
Jimmy
to get
Kimmel's son is not going to hurt for healthcare. He wasn't going to a clinic to get this surgery.
Okay.
Jimmy Kimmel's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, but I'm like, everybody who's not a multi-millionaire.
He had the best fucking surgeon on the planet probably do that surgery for his child.
How many people can't do that? Afford that though? A lot of people can't, and so it has to be fixed. So everyone can do that. That's what
Why are you yelling? We do a sound test at the beginning, and then you talk in a very soft.
Get me so passionate sometimes.
You talk like this, and our mic checks, and then all of a sudden you're talking like this.
Okay, to make it so passionate.
That's what I said. Are you sure you're going to talk like this through the way we think?
Well,
now so you're all clipping them there, man.
We just need
causing me more work later.
We just need a healthcare system where you have choices. You can choose choice A, B, or C, or whatever, and you choose whatever you're comfortable with. I don't care what you call it. It just have a system that we have where we have choices.
Yeah, but who pays for that? That's all it comes down to.
Well, you go through your job or whatever.
Yeah, but and it's not every job pays for it, and then you have, is it taxpayers going to pay for it? And then, we're paying for everything now, and if you have that type of system, it's going to cost trillions of dollars for everybody. So it's a weird. It all comes down to who pays for it.
Basically, the middle class is going to pay for it.
Well, you should get what you pay for it. Jimmy Kimmel's kid got top care because he's paying top dollar.
Yeah, because you can afford to. If you wanted to go and spend, if you wanted to sell your house and sell all your possessions and do like that just to provide surgery for your kid, then maybe you should do that and go and pay somebody a couple $100,000 to do the surgery. But here's the thing: that doctor's not going to take cash. He's going to get paid through the insurance companies. So I don't know. It's that whole insurance thing, health insurance. Yes, I do believe there should be some sort of national healthcare system. But I also don't believe that. I think anything nationally run has proven to be a fucked up system.
Okay.
So we already have a national healthcare system. It's called the VA. Is the VA is that what we want for every American citizen? Is how the VA hospital runs?
No,
because those guys are
homeless.
Those guys are a lot of them are homeless. Yeah. A lot of them wait like 3 months before 6 months before they get treated for simple things. They had guys dying in the waiting rooms.
Oh yeah.
A few years ago that happened. So I mean, is that the system we want? That's our mail system. The United States postal system is a government-run thing, and they're one of the shittiest fucking systems that run. They're in debt constantly. Anything that's government-funded as a system pretty much doesn't work.
If it's coming out of my paycheck or whatever, whether I pay for it out of pocket or out of my paycheck or however it gets paid, I just want to get what I pay for.
True.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
I pay for my own right now. I pay $270 a month for health insurance. On my own, not through any employee. I'm self-employed, so that's why.
No.
So, and I'm not on Obamacare. I'm not getting a stipend for that. I'm paid. That's all I pay is $271 a month for just me. So, and I never go to the doctor. I think I've been to the doctor once in the last probably 6, 7, 8 years.
Wow.
So I pay for it. They're definitely making money off me.
Yeah.
The one time I went, they made probably cost them a few $100s for what I did for what test they ran or whatever. Now, not their inflated costs, not an X-ray that they say cost $4,000 or something like that for an X-ray, and you're like, really?
Well,
I'm pretty sure I can probably buy a whole X-ray machine for probably $20,000, and then you're and pay somebody $20 an hour to run the thing.
Yeah,
it's not really working out to $4,000 every X-ray that you're paying somebody. So they're definitely making money.
Oh yeah, healthcare system's all screwed up. I mean, and same thing with the pharmaceuticals and so on. It's a lot of inflation there.
Yeah.
But I just want to get. If I'm paying for something, paying for it's fine. But I just want to be able to get what I pay for when I need it. If I don't need it for 5 years from now, but when it comes time, I want to be able to use it.
So we all agree that healthcare and drug system to be changed. That's all we agree on.
Needs to be fixed.
Yeah, but you can't blame one president because your kid had this natural thing that happened to him, and it's not this president's not. It's not his fault for the healthcare system we're under right now. So why is he blaming Trump? That's what I don't get. Why is he blaming Trump for something that the Democrats and Obama forced onto the American people in the Affordable Health Care Act, Obamacare?
Obamacare.
Why isn't he blaming Obama for it?
You tell me.
Because he wanted to. Because I think what he said is he was cutting the budget for something, and I don't know. Cutting the budget for the arts, and maybe the arts that's why he's whatever. The arts has nothing to do with healthcare. It's all there's so many things, and it's once again any little thing that Trump does everybody on the left piles onto him, like your buddy Stephen Colbert. Let's talk about him and what he said.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna be honest with you. I just saw like a brief clipping of it. I didn't see the whole thing. So enlighten me what happened.
Oh, so he was. I think it was. It might. I don't know if it was last Friday night or if it was Monday night. But he basically on his monologue was. It was Monday night, and he on his monologue was ripping into Trump as usual, and he was making. I forgot the whole thing, but he basically said that something to the effect that. A lot of people like the LGBT community or something like that are upset with them, and he made some derogatory comments, and then he basically has finished like his big punchline was supposedly about Donald Trump's mouth is a cock holster for Vladimir Putin.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Well, okay.
Which isn't even. It's not even a funny joke. I mean, that's the thing. It's and there was some other things he said. It's just not. It wasn't funny. It wasn't like he was just saying it to say to attack the
beating
president.
a dead horse again. Like everyone's gonna make fun of Trump and his relations with Putin. It's like beating a dead horse again. It's all it is. So okay.
Yeah, but there's LGBTQ, SG, whatever they are now.
LGBT. Yeah.
No, you forgot the Q. It's
Oh.
LGBTQ, I think, officially still, and then there's we did this episode 1 with all the different things they have on there.
I can't keep track of all these
Yeah,
initials.
they have the full alphabet now. But there's like they're calling for Colbert to be fired. It's not from the right. It's not from the conservatives.
Right.
It's from like the fringe left groups that are calling for him to get fired now because of this. Because using one's mouth as a cock holster, I guess, is that's a derogatory against gays or
people,
something like that.
It's a slur and whatnot. Yeah.
Everything is slow nowadays.
I didn't know cock holster was a slur to gay people, but because whatever.
Yeah. I mean, everything is
I just
slow
don't.
nowadays.
You can be critical about policy, but when you're just saying, and he was talking about something like, he compared them also to skinhead, like Donald Trump has done more for the Rogaine industry than what skinheads have done.
Okay.
Which isn't even like if you think about that joke, skinheads shave their heads.
Yeah.
They're not going bald and
Exactly.
using Rogaine. They're not trying to buy more razors to shave their head. Like, let me use Rogaine on my bald head already, so my hair will grow out and I can shave it again. No, they made themselves bald intentionally
On purpose, yeah.
So that joke doesn't even make sense foundationally. And then he goes into this fucking cock holster thing that he's the Putin's penis.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. I mean, his ratings have been increased since Trump became president because he's so he attacks.
We'd like the next
I never
John
liked
Stewart.
Colbert anyways. Before, I don't like him now. I've never watched Letterman the last 4 or 5 years Letterman was on. I've never seen a single episode of Colbert.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's doing this is just ridiculous. It just proves to me that they're just completely against the guy. No matter what he's going to do, they're against him.
Do you think freedom of speech is under attack right now?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
100% freedom of speech is
Because
under attack.
what happened at Berkeley with Ann Coulter, that was just ridiculous. I was like, wow.
And they still have a little riot over there, a little skirmish or whatever. And might as well just go ahead and just give the speech. They had the situation anyway.
Yeah, so they have riots over free speech. So they're calling that the Antifa, which is anti-fascist apparently. I think that's what it stands for. A-N-T-I-F-A, Antifa, is anti-fascist. What I think it stands for is anti-free First Amendment.
Okay.
Anti-FA, anti-First Amendment. Because they're against speech. Unless it's speech that they want to hear and then they agree with. If you speak with what they want to hear, then they're going to let you speak. If it's anything other than that, they don't want to hear you speak. Well, that's not how the system works.
Yeah.
Our system works because us right here, 3 people get together and we can have a civil discussion. We may not agree on everything each one of them says, but we can sit and talk about it and we move on.
Yeah.
It's not we're not suppressing speech, and we're not doing it in a way where, when they call themselves anti-fascist, you know what a fascist actually is? It's when they're in a position of power and they use force to force you to believe what they believe. Well, guess what they're doing? They're using force and violence to make you believe what they believe. Right. They are themselves fascist. So to call themselves anti-fascist is complete bullshit. They are fascist, and what the techniques they're doing. And who are these people? Really, are they is it all just social media and they follow each other on Twitter and Instagram? They get together and rally, and then they're all Bernie Sanders supporters. They're not Democrats. They're far from being Democrats.
Marxism.
They're anti-government. They're. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's and they're all young. They're all under the age of 30.
Yeah.
So is that our future? Is it we're looking to go down this road of more and more 20-something-year-olds are going to be believing in this type of action is justifiable?
I think like in the like 10 years frame, the way things are going right now, I think it will be, and it's gonna happen. I think then that will probably be the collapse of America. So
I don't know if it's a collapse because who are they going to go up against? People like me who own firearms?
Yeah, there's
still a lot of us left.
Yeah, but
really, when it comes down to it, if there's going to be a civil war, whose side do you think would win right now?
Oh, the Republican side, obviously, conservatives. Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
It kind of reminds me of back in the hippie days where they were just protesting this, protest that, and this, these, when they get older, their views are going to change because things affect them differently as the older you get. So it's just, I have a voice, I'm loud, hear me,
But there was also back you're talking like hippie days and things like that and protesting. There was the Martin Luther King way of protesting where you march and there was no violence.
Yeah.
They didn't light Selma, Alabama on fire, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're lighting Berkeley on fire. They're lighting cop cars on fire. They're doing all this crazy stuff. The May Day protests that just happened in Paris and Chicago and Portland and things like that. Like that whole thing is that's communist. Like the May Day thing is a socialistic, communistic aspect that they all workers' rights, everybody's the same, unions, that's all union organizations, things like that, and they're throwing firebombs at police. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not the way to go about writing. It's not the way to make true change.
Well, civil unrest is going to be in many forms. You're going to have the peaceful form. You're going to have not so peaceful forms. It's going to go down.
But I wouldn't call, if it's a peaceful protest, I wouldn't call that civil unrest.
Well, there's silence. Nonviolence is still civil disobedience.
Like sit-ins, stuff like that.
Yeah, sit-ins and things like that, and that is it. And you still get the media attention doing that.
Oh yeah.
But when you go and start breaking windows and firebombing things and beating people with sticks and stuff like that, and trying to loot and riot, I'm sorry, that's a different. Now you're committing a crime, and your opinion of what you were trying to portray no longer matters because you've crossed this line.
Well, when people loot, that's a person who's just an opportunist.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with whatever the stance is. It's just an opportunity. Let me go get some free shit. They don't care what's going on out there.
I think there is a percentage, yes, and there's a percentage of opportunity, but there's also the firebombing a police car. The people there to protect everybody, even you. If you're going to be attacked by the other side, they're going to protect you.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't. It's not the proper way to go about doing things. We have a system that works. We vote. We vote in cities. We vote for counties. We vote for state things. We vote for sheriffs. We vote for judges. We vote for presidents, and everything from president down to everybody says dog catcher. Nobody actually gets voted for dog catcher.
Yeah.
But from local council members to school board people to water board people. So we vote for our water board. People are going to be on the water board that controls the utilities in our neighborhoods. From a person that's on the water board, a utility, to President of the United States, basically anybody that has decisions to make on how we live is voted for. Now, I'm sorry, go out and vote. Organize, get together, the old grassroots kind of thing. Come, pull yourself up in your bootstraps kind of thing. Get people together. Get one person that agrees with you, and all of a sudden you get 3 people or 4 people, and then you start putting out pamphlets and putting on, not pamphlets, but social media.
Right.
And actually what your cause is, and actually have a mission statement, and then go like, hey, we want this person to be out and we want this person to be in, and get funding then behind you and go about it that way. Instead of lighting cop cars on fires and busting buildings and smacking people with sticks and bike locks and things like that, not the way to go about doing it. I don't know. What's the
solution? No, I think you said that way. Just vote. And like I said, a lot of people, like Bernie Sanders people, were pissed off that that Hillary that he lost because people didn't vote. That Hillary won. People didn't vote after Bernie got elected. But people didn't vote for Hillary. It pisses me off.
Yeah,
So
the Bernie people did not vote for Hillary.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing they can do.
I think some of them may have gone and voted for Trump.
Yeah,
it makes sense that they didn't go vote for Hillary because it came out that Hillary actually had questions from CNN and the DNC colluded against Bernie.
yeah,
So why vote for that process when they're like, wait a minute, this process is rigged even against our own?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's proven, that was proven in WikiLeaks and things like that. That's some of the information the Russians released, was that the Democratic National Convention, basically went against Bernie Sanders. They didn't want him.
Well,
He's not even a Democrat. He's still listed as an independent right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That guy never had a job until he was 40. That guy owns like 3 houses.
Yeah.
No, it's true. He never.
I know.
He didn't have a job until he was 40.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody being president or in a senator or anything that never had a job until they're 40.
It's not where you start, where you finish.
And it's his only job he's ever had was in basically taxpayers paying him. Okay? And he owns 3 houses. How is this guy the man for the working class and the this and that and everything? He owns 3 houses, and 2 of them are huge homes, like up in Vermont and stuff like that, and Nantucket or wherever he's. Come on, man.
Yeah.
This guy's got property. This guy's a multimillionaire in property, and he's supposed to be the man for the small guy. Come on.
Who is the man for the small guy? No one is. If you really think about it, nobody is. Trump is not.
No, I don't think Trump is either. I'm not saying that. I think there are good politicians out there, but there are also those good politicians and stuff like that are from smaller states, the Midwest states, the flyover states. I think there's good Democrats out there in those states too, that are for, that do believe in the First Amendment being the First Amendment and all that it stands for, not just freedom of speech, but freedom of press, freedom of religion, all the things that are under the First Amendment, and then believe in the Second Amendment because that backs up the First. So, there are good politicians out there, Democrat and Republican alike. I just think they're in smaller counties, smaller states, and they're not going to get noticed because they're in a small state. And maybe they're happy doing it because what they're doing locally is actually making change locally. And, the house is burning out around you, but your kitchen looks really nice and remodeled, but everything else is shit around you. So I don't know. Is that the way to go about it?
Well, what we need is
the Green Party.
We need some of that new, fresh blood
Yeah.
in our politics and whatnot. Because
Well, how much fresher you can get than Trump? I'm not even a politician.
everyone knew who he was though beforehand.
True.
It wasn't like, who's this guy? And everyone knew who he was for years and years and years.
Yeah, but he was a Democrat 20 years ago. 30, 40 years ago. So, I don't know. He's a populist. He ran a populist ticket, and I don't have a problem with that. But, yeah, I agree. There needs to be I think there needs to be term limits for senators and
I would like that.
The fact
that
somebody like Nancy Pelosi has been in office for 40-something years, it seems like, and Dianne Feinstein before her were the same. I mean, that's ridiculous. Bernie Sanders has been in office for 30-something years. That's ridiculous. If you're in there, you're just stagnant, and all you're doing is trying to keep your job, keep the people in your counties and states that elected you happy, keep the organizations and the unions and things like that got you there happy, and nothing ever gets moved.
Yeah.
I think term limits need to be imposed. I think there needs to be, and I've said this before, like about a 20 to 25 year limit on all public service. Whether you ran for a council member here in your local city for 4 years, and then after that 4 years you ran for state senate for 4 years. Then you ran for, like, say you became lieutenant governor of California for 4 years. Then you became governor of California for 8 years. You add all that up, you're almost at 20, 25 years, and you're like, oh, now I'm going to be a senator for 12 years, and then after that I want to be president for 8. Well, now you're at 40 plus years of civil service in a way. Your whole job for 40 years has been on taxpayer dollars. I think you max it out at 20 to 30 years max. And that should be the max through the entire career of public service. And
they're getting by on their name recognition. Oh, I know that name. Oh, yeah. I'll just
exactly.
over him.
Oh, they've been there for a while. Oh, they must be doing a good job. They're still there. No, they're still there because people like you don't research them. Mm-hmm. Every time we have an election, there's a list of judges that we can vote for in our counties. How do you research those judges?
Sometimes I do. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. People, I guarantee 98% of the people that vote don't research the judges.
Yep.
I want to know how long they've been on the bench because, like I said, I've heard horror stories of judges falling asleep at trial and everything.
Yeah.
It's time to retire. Time to just
Yeah, I try to research every single person, every single measure, ballot initiative, proposition, whatever it happens to be. I research all of it before I vote. I consider myself an informed voter when it comes to things, and not everybody's that way. I've heard stories when I was in high school and stuff like that. I remember the story that a family and they would happen to be a Hispanic family. I'm not going to say what I don't know what country they're from, but they came to this country. They immigrated here. Naturalized where they were went through the process of becoming a U.S. citizen, and they were able to vote. And they basically told me that they vote Democrat because the Democrats stand for democracy, and Republicans are like the USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Mm-hmm. China is the Republic of China, and they see that the name Republic is associated with that. And the Democrats, because we have a democratic process, that they vote for Democrats because it's a democratic process. That is how they're justified them voting for Democrats.
Wow, that's sad.
So I guarantee there's still a certain percentage of population that vote that way. Oh, we vote Democrats because they stand for the democratic process.
Like I even told my friend he voted for Democrat. He was anti-Trump. And I tell him, dude, you make like this much amount of money. He's saving you a tax break. He's like, oh, I don't care, blah blah. I'm like, so you just voted for him because you don't like the guy, or you didn't vote for him because you didn't like the guy? Back up your facts.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's just a bunch of craziness.
Yeah. I don't side for one party or the other. I want to see what the person's. To me, it's a job interview.
Yep.
You're going to let me know how you're going to do the job. I mean, I attend once in a while local city hall meetings.
Oh yeah.
And it's free to the public. You can walk in there and you can hear what measures they're voting on and whatnot around your city. And it's a good way to learn the system and how the system works. At least to some degree, you can get.
For sure.
Get some information.
Anyway.
So.
Lots of crazy.
Sports are coming up.
I know. We changed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, let's actually, before we get into sports real quick, you posted this thing on your Facebook. We said we're going to talk about it. And that was that, what was that guy's name? That was he's an activist or he's a comedian or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
And he interviewed this white nationalist fucking douchebag asshole. Mm-hmm. And what was that guy's name that did the interview?
His name?
Yeah, I might be able to find it quicker.
He'd on CNN.
Ed
Camus, something like that.
I forget what it was, but I know that there was a. You can probably go to your thing quicker than I can find it, huh?
So his name.
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, that's the link I was going to try to send you the other night, and I couldn't figure a way to copy it on the. You posted about that Chino Hills thing.
Yep. So his name is Ed Camus. He's like a CNN comedian, pretty much. And what he does.
A CNN comedian?
Yeah, he works for CNN. And,
that's like an oxymoron.
Political satire type of guy.
Kind of like Jon Stewart, but for CNN. And what is the thing at? Oh, here we go.
Oh, here it is.
You found it? Okay.
W. Camille Bell goes face-to-face with white nationalist Richard Spencer in United Shades.
Yes.
So how would you react? Oh, so he has a show called United Shades, and it's basically, he goes and talks about different race things, right? Okay. So this whole interview, and I'm not going to show the audio of it, but this is the guy doing the interview. This is obviously, you can probably tell who W. Camille Bell is and who the white nationalist is.
I know who that guy is. Yeah, okay. I know who he is now.
He did this whole thing about. It's not going to. Oh, there it's going to load down.
Yeah, I've seen that guy before.
So he did this thing, and the white guy is like this fucking just douchebag. I wouldn't call him a racist, but he probably is a fucking racist. He's just so far fucking extreme. That's like interviewing the Black Panthers and saying that they have, or interviewing a terrorist. It's like interviewing a fucking ISIS terrorist and saying that they represent all Muslims.
Okay.
It's bullshit. They don't represent all Muslims. This guy doesn't represent all fucking white people. And that was my comment to you that I made, and I'll just read my comment that I made on your thing. I put, what a tool. And also CNN, why fan the flames of hatred? Some people will watch this and think that all white people are like this asshole. Then go out and randomly target white men like they did that guy in Fresno. Because that black guy in Fresno went out and just started targeting white people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
which is stupid.
This I think that's irresponsible for CNN to air something like that. You could show a clip of, like, look at this fucking douchebag asshole,
Okay.
and then interview other fucking white people. Have this Camille Bell come interview me. I'll have a completely different point of view than this fucking douchebag.
It's funny because I was watching his show Sunday, actually, and he went to the KKK meetings.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, okay.
That was the one that, but he went, but then they wouldn't let him in fully, and he had to stand, like, he met with that one KKK guy, and there's like, well, we can go here, but they don't want you on their property. Is that same guy?
Yeah, but then he went to like 3 different locations, one in Arkansas,
Yeah.
one in Kentucky,
Yeah.
and so some people let him in, some people didn't, but...
Yeah, because there's fucking douchebag assholes out there like that. But when you represent that, this is what white people believe, and this is what white people think.
He's not saying he said some, not all. He said some.
Is that what really you really think people are well informed enough to realize that? We just talked about how well informed people are when they vote.
Right.
You think people watching that are going to be well informed to make the distinction that guy is not speaking for that's just secretly how all white people think, isn't it? I mean,
you get some people who are not stable enough to differentiate things, and they do a knee-jerk reaction and go out and do something stupid.
Well, there's different stability levels on both sides. You have this asshole on one side that what he says is completely backwards, fucking 1930s, 40s thinking, and then you have people that are going to think that all white people think that way secretly. That's what they all think secretly. They put on the good face that they can invite black guys into their house and do a podcast with them, but secretly he fucking thinks that. Come on, man, that's fucking irresponsible by CNN and that guy to do that like that. Show that as this is what fucking some people do. Like, it's, not every person that what was that fucking talk show that had all the KKK guys on him and shit back in the day? Geraldo, Donahue, I think, and then who was that other guy? The Jerry Springer show. Yeah. All that. He shows the worst. The Jerry Springer was the worst. He showed the worst of fucking society. He showed the white trash is a white trash. He showed the most ghetto black people. Yeah. He showed it was the extremes. It wasn't the normal. And people get that in their mind, like, oh, that's must be what they all be. That's what they're all like. That guy, that fucking douchebag that they fucking interviewed, that fucking white dipshit. He probably thinks that all black people are from the ghetto and talk this certain way and they can't get educated and are lazy and this and that and all this other bullshit. It's all. I mean, he believes that because that's what he's been seeing, and then people are going to believe that all white people are this way because of that guy. Like, oh, that guy's on TV. He must have something to say. Right. No, fuck that guy, dude. He's a fucking douchebag, dude.
Stirring up the base pot.
Exactly, and that's all it is. And CNN is guilty of that, and I think that's irresponsible journalism to do that. And maybe that's not journalism. Maybe that is just an opinion show or an opinion piece. But he's going out like an investigative journal, trying to get into the KKK. Not that he's trying to get into the KKK, but trying to see and experience what it truly is to be for these guys and how they're raising their kids and things like that. And I do remember that one because that guy had they follow, like, the one guy was like an electrician around, and he raised his family and his kids a certain way. And even that guy was like, nah, I realize that, like, I shouldn't be teaching my kids this, but it's just the way it is down here. Well, that maybe in that city or county, but then 2 counties over, maybe his neighbor doesn't feel that way at all. It's a very, very small percentage of people that I think actually have this fucking mentality like that. And it pisses me off when I see that because...
Well, that's all they've seen, so that's what they know, because when racism is taught...
Oh,
you put 2 kids in the playground, they don't care who's black or white. They'll start playing.
No idea. They look at each other for a minute and they go, wait a minute, you're another, I can see you're a baby and a child, but you are different than me. And then all of a sudden you see him playing with a little fucking little toy around. And he goes, oh, I play with my toy like that too. Exactly. Well, let's play with our toys together.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen nothing positive, then that's what you might be inclined to think that. But if you live in a place like out here where we're living, you see a black doctor, a Latino lawyer, and some sudden you see people getting along in a diverse area. Yeah, you're going to think differently because you have different experiences.
What I always think, California is so different. Obviously, there's racists everywhere, and there's racists on both sides. I mean, there's some black people that say that black people can't be racist. Yeah. I don't know because of whatever reason they have behind it, but there's just California is so different. We are so racially diverse. We have so many, every single race, religion, creed, gender, although there's only 2 genders, and I still think there's only one race, and it's the human race. But it's everything else is country of origin.
There you go.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. We have a human race, we have countries of origin, and we have we have religious belief systems, and 2 genders, male and female. I don't care who you are. You're scientifically born that way. So that's a whole other topic we can get into eventually too, because that's a crazy. Like, I'm gonna get feedback for that for sure. Because and yes, if somebody wants to be trans and they think they want to go from male to female, go ahead and do it. But realize that you were born this way originally.
Right.
So, and some people are for freaks of nature, like Jimmy Kimmel's child born with a heart thing. Some people are born like hermaphroditic. Mm-hmm. So, there are fucking things out there that happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's not the norm.
No.
It's a very small percentage. And they're not that they're to be discounted because they're a small percentage, but it's not there's male and female. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so music. Or no, we were talking music? Is that what we're going to? Sports. Oh, yeah, sports. We don't have music talk today.
Nothing. So, sports. Isaiah Thomas, he balled out of his mind last night, scored 53 points, and helped the team come back to win the game 2. Yeah, game 2. And it was on his sister's birthday, too, who recently passed away like a month ago. And so that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. That was with, he's with Boston, right?
Yeah.
Is that, okay.
Yeah. And then San Antonio's first got the asses kicked by Houston.
But somebody told me that's all right because it's game 1.
Yeah, it's only a game. But the thing is, this was the San Antonio's first franchise record where they've been down. It was like 69-39 the first half or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. So, but it's only game 1. I think the Spurs will come back and beat them.
They'll make the adjustment.
Yeah. They play again tonight?
Tonight, yep. And then Cleveland won last. No, they played tonight too, Cleveland. So they're up 1-0.
How's my Golden State doing?
Golden State's doing good. They're fine.
Good. All right. That's all I want to know. Sticking with them.
And then what else? Dodgers played tonight against the Giants. So screw the Giants.
Tonight's the Vince Scully
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor and giveaway mic thing and KTLA game again. So hockey playoffs still going on.
Yes.
The Ducks are down a game in that series.
Right.
So Oilers will come back tonight and win it. They had a bad game on Sunday. But, the other series, I think Pittsburgh and Washington plays tonight. And Washington finally came back and won a game in that one.
That was a good game, too.
Was a good game.
I'm telling you, I predicted the beginning of the playoffs that one of those two teams is going to win the Stanley Cup. And watching those two teams play, they're playing better hockey than anybody out there. Both those teams are playing really good hockey. It's just unfortunate they have to play each other so early.
Right.
But, the Rangers ended up coming back and winning, so they came within a game because Ottawa won the first 2, I think. And so, it's Nashville came. They won the first couple of games. And so there's some good hockey series out there right now.
And then I hate to, well, he's a funny dude, but LeVar Ball screwed his son over millions of dollars by having Nike, Under Armour, and Reebok, Nike and Adidas not giving him a shoe deal. But it's
because he wants his Triple B shoe brand or clothing brand thing
big
or whatever.
baller brand.
And who knows? Maybe the Big Baller brand will take off, and 10 years from now, 20 years from now, it'll be bigger than Nike. Mm-hmm. Chino Hills will have like a University of Oregon here. They'll be the Triple B brand will provide all their uniforms for their every game, and who knows?
Yeah, he got the coach fired last week.
Yeah, the Chino Hills
coach. Yep.
Now, was that the men's coach or the women's coach?
The men's coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then in other sports news, since we're talking about race, and I just remembered this story, was it Andrew Jones? Oh, did you hear about this one?
No.
Okay, so I think it was Andrew Jones.
Oh, in the outfield?
In the outfield in Boston.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where he basically got people calling him racial slurs and things like that. And then because who he is, and is it Andrew Jones? Is that who it is? Or is it? I think it's Andrew Jones.
Jones.
Jones is the last name, but I don't remember the first name.
I don't think it was Andrew Jones.
I don't think Andrew Jones plays anymore. Let me see. Jones, MLB.
He was a center fielder for the Orioles.
Yeah. It's popped up. Adam Jones.
Adam Jones.
Sorry, Andrew Jones. And sorry, Adam Jones, for screwing that up. I didn't have the story in front of me. So, Adam Jones. And I guess he's been like a 3-time nominee or something like that, the Roberto Clemente Award, which so he does like a lot for charities. He does he seems like a total stand-up guy, as Adam Jones does, from what I was reading. But Boston is Boston, and they want to portray that city as the Fenway Park is the most beautiful baseball park, and this and that and everything. I heard a comedian once say this, and it's a comedian from Boston, and I don't know if it was Joe Rogan who said it or if it was Bill Burr who said it. They basically said Boston is like San Francisco. It's just full of racists. It's a beautiful cultural city with a bunch of racists. Because, I don't know, Boston to me does have that air about it in a way. It's the...
But not all people from Boston are racist.
True,
though.
not all are.
Like, I know a lot of people from Boston who aren't.
But at least one out of the probably... What's a sellout at Boston? 40,000 people, maybe?
Something like that.
So one out of the 40... Actually, it's probably smaller than that because that big wall takes up a lot of seating space. So, say 30,000. One out of 30,000 people was a racist that night for sure. Because he vocalized what he wanted to say. Yeah. Now, I understand heckling players, but when you don't take it to that extreme, please, let's not. I used to heckle Darryl Strawberry when he'd play against the Dodgers. Okay. When he was with the Mets, I think it was with the Mets or Yankees.
Yankees.
When he was with the Yankees and he'd come into town, either at Dodger Stadium or down at Anaheim, and I would yell out, "Follow that white line out to outfield." Follow that white line, Darryl. Follow that white line. That's heckling a player. I'm not making a racial statement at all on that. But because, that guy, when he was with the Dodgers, I was fully supportive of him. When he's playing on another team or whatever college he went to, I don't give a shit about them probably. But, you heckle players. You don't say racial shit. Come on. Once again, the guy who said it was probably that white nationalist that guy interviewed.
But the next game, though, he got a standing ovation from Boston. So that's pretty cool.
They did. And the mayor and the team owners and everybody issued all these apologies and things like that. But, yeah, that was kind of stupid. Anyway, so no music news at all? Can't come up with nothing?
A Perfect Circle is playing at a...
you said that last podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I got nothing. That's it.
You just posted something, some show tomorrow night. You posted something on Facebook about it, that you're interested in going to an event tomorrow night. It was some metal band or something. Yeah,
Soulfly thing at Echoplex.
There you go. See, that's music news.
Right.
I've never heard of Soulfly.
Are you serious?
Yeah, positive.
Wow. I'm surprised I never heard of them.
Yeah, when you said Echoplex, I thought, when I read your post, I thought it was Soulfly and Echoplex were playing together somewhere. I literally didn't know. I don't know what Echoplex is.
Yeah, it's a stadium event thing in LA.
Oh, okay.
That's what stadium.
Is it an Echo Park?
That's I don't know. It's down there.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah. Oh, Lil Wayne's playing in Pomona.
Who?
Lil Wayne.
What?
Yeah, May 4th. That's
what?
What is it? Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a big ghetto crowd.
Yeah. Are you not picking up on my Lil Wayne references here?
I got it. Yeah,
that's
Lil Jon.
Oh, really?
Get your thing straight, Jesus. Yeah, it's Lil Jon.
Oh, really? There's two different Littles?
It's Tommy Littles. All these little rappers.
Oh, man. I didn't know it was... Who's Lil Wayne, then?
Dude on ESPN. You watch sports?
Some guy on ESPN's going to do rap at Pomona?
Yeah, he's on a
I don't know who
First
Lil
Take.
Wayne is. First Take. I'm sorry, I don't know.
Wow. I being sarcastic, you don't know.
No, I have no idea. I literally thought it was Lil Jon. I obviously don't know who Lil Wayne is. Why is a rapper on ESPN, first of all?
Lil Wayne is from Cash Money Records back in the day with Manny Fresh and Birdman and all those guys.
Yeah, dress up in like Halloween like every year.
You're literally saying names right now. I have no idea. Birdman and Little Fresh?
Manny Fresh. Anyway,
Not anyway. I want to know who these people are. That's the end of our podcast.
Depeche Mode is going on tour, and that'll be cool to see. Oh, we're out of here.
Just went to a whole new different level. We went Depeche Mode.
So,
right, I guess.
Thanks for Havoc Pools for sponsoring us.
Oh yeah, they've Havoc Pools, and like I said, either Havoc Pools for all your pool needs, plastering, pool pump service, things like that. Also, same owners of Havoc Pool. Go down to hang out at Tilted Kilt in Chino and give them some support down there, and good place to get a couple of drinks, and that's pretty much it. In Chino.
I'm Brandon.
Yeah. I'm Ellis.
And I'm John, as always, on Hardheaded Productions, episode 15 this was. Thanks.
Later.
Who? I still don't know who Little. You never. Why is a rapper on ESPN?
I'm gonna go right to the last 5 minutes of this podcast.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm still recording. I'm gonna leave this in there too. So I don't know who he is. I don't listen to country either, but I don't listen to rap.